Hello and welcome to Education at SSBJ online video tutorial. We'll go ahead with chapter Sound of Class 8th.
Dear children, we have learnt about simple pendulum in previous video tutorials and also the meaning of time period. And virtually we have seen that time taken for one vibration or one oscillation is called time period. This pendulum seems to be very quick. It goes so fast. To and fro motion is fast enough. And now it is very difficult to find out time taken for one oscillation. What is one oscillation? From its initial position going to both extreme position and coming back to initial position. Or we can take one extreme position and back to the same extreme position. So suppose if I can start now, start and 1. It will be very fast. We have to act so quick. Now in that case, what should we do? We'll take up one pendulum, virtual pendulum, and see what should we do in such cases and find out the frequency of that pendulum. Here we go.
In this virtual pendulum, instead of one vibration, we'll take for 10 vibrations. Now what is going on is 5th vibration, now 6th vibration, and then 7, so on, and we will stop on 10th vibration, right? Now we have got a time 30 minus 14, 16 seconds for 10 vibrations. Now let us find the frequency and the time period of the pendulum. What we have observed here, instead of taking time for one oscillation or vibration, we have taken time for 10 oscillation. And why is that? Because it is difficult to find time for one oscillation, right? And we got the result that 16 seconds was required for total 10 oscillations. So for 10 oscillations, 16 seconds. And what is the definition of time period? How much time for one oscillation? So for 10 oscillations, 16 seconds. For one oscillation, how many seconds? Simple calculation, for one oscillation, it is 16 divided by 10 into 1. Right? That amounts to 1.6 seconds. So the time period is 1.6 seconds. So this is how we have found time period of the pendulum, virtual pendulum you have seen. Now going for finding frequency. So what is frequency? Oscillations per second. How many oscillations are there in 1 second? So our result, what we have received, is 16 seconds for 10 oscillations. So very simple. To find frequency, we have to find for 1 second how many oscillations. So 16 seconds for 10 oscillation. Therefore for 1 second, how many oscillations? So equal to 10 divided by 16 into 1. And that amounts to 0.625 vibrations per second. In 1 second, how many vibrations? 0.625. Or how can we present it? Frequency is 0.625 Hertz. Okay, this is how we have found time period and frequency of that virtual pendulum. But in the exam, you may find questions like this. The sound from a mosquito is produced when it vibrates its wings at an average rate of 500 vibrations per second. What is the time period of the vibration? Well, we all know, okay, when the mosquito comes, it vibrates its wings and so fast. What is more important here, look at the problem. What is given there is 500 vibrations per second. Means mosquito vibrates 500 times in 1 second. What is the time period? What is asked is time period. What is given is 500 vibrations per second. What does it mean? In 1 second, 500 vibrations means it is given frequency there. 500 hertz is the frequency. And what is the time period? And what is time period by definition then? Time taken to complete one vibration. Time taken to complete one vibration. Right? Now, simple one. 500 vibrations, 1 second. So, one vibration, how many seconds? 1 by 500 seconds, which is equal to 0.002 seconds. I hope you have understood. What we have found is time taken for one vibration, because that is the definition of time period. Right. Now, time period is 0.002 seconds, and that's what it is asked. We'll go for the second question. A pendulum oscillates 40 times in 4 seconds. Again, pendulum question. Find its time period and frequency. Here we have to find both time period and frequency. And what is given? 40 times in 4 seconds. And what is to find? Time period and frequency. So given is 40 oscillations in 1 second, in 4 seconds. Right? And to find time period as well as frequency. Now think, give me the idea how to find time period. So what is the definition of time period? Time taken for one oscillation. So very simple. 40 oscillations in 4 seconds. So one oscillation is how many? In how many seconds? Simple, 4 divided by 40 into 1. That will give you 1 by 10 second. So time period is 0.1 second. Right? Now, next is frequency. Keep thinking how to find out frequency. You should know the definition of frequency, and simple, number of oscillations per second is frequency, and you have to find out number of oscillations per second. So what is given is 4 seconds. How many oscillations? 40 oscillations. And in 1 second, simple, 40 divided by 4 into 1, 10 oscillations per second. And that's equal to 10 hertz. Right? Now just compare a time period and frequency. Time period is 0.1 second. Frequency is 10 hertz. Can you conclude a relation with this? Again look at it. Frequency is 10 hertz and time period is 0.1 second. Is there any relation between the frequency and the time period? If you know the answer, comment it in the comment box. Now let us recall what we have learnt so far. A quick recapitulation of what we have learnt, right? And then we'll go ahead. We have learnt about sound, and sound is a form of energy, and sound is produced due to vibrations. And what is vibration? To and fro motion of the body. Pendulum is the best example for vibration. And then we have seen what is actually one vibration means, and the time taken to complete one vibration is called time period. Number of oscillations completed in 1 second is called frequency.
Do you know vibration travel throughout the medium. You just vibrate one particular part of the medium, it travels all along. For example, I tap this and you see the vibration traveled all around the water. It's a water surface now. I'm going to tap it now. You will find up and down motion of the water moved all around. Once again you see, I just push this water down and the water comes up, and that up and down motion moves all around. When the vibration moves all along, what you see here is called wave. So wave is nothing but disturbance in the medium, and that disturbance is moving all around, and it happens even in the air. And what is that disturbance? That disturbance is nothing but the vibration. I am vibrating one particular part of the water, and that vibration is carried from one point to another point. It is not the water which is moving, it is the energy which is moving from one end to another end. It is the vibration which is moving from one end to another end. How do you say that it is not the water which is moving? Keep some thermocol ball here, right? I am bringing it here somewhere, right? Now you can see I am tapping this water and thermocol ball stays there only. I am tapping here. You can find waves moving, but thermocol ball stays there. That proves that water moves up and down. It looks like a wave which is moving. That is what I said. Vibration is moving from one end to another end. We shall see one more model here. I am going to give a disturbance at the end of this chain, right? And see what happens. I'll be just moving one of the stick, and as I said that the disturbance moves from one end of the medium to another end, we are going to verify that here, right? Look at this. We have the sticks till the end, and I'm going to move this here.
Disturbance given to one end of the medium travels all along, and even it comes back. If you wait and see, it comes back. What you have learned in these demonstrations are disturbances travel, and disturbances are vibrations in the medium, and we call them as wave. And wave motion is actually a transfer of energy from one place to another place. But wait a minute, can we draw a wave, or can we convert pendulum motion into a wave? Well, we shall understand now how to represent to and fro motion of the pendulum into a wave on graph. We have drawn here x and y axis, and consider that when pendulum reaches to its extreme position, this is the point which we have to make on x-axis, and when it comes to a center, that is mean position or initial position, then this wave will come on exactly on this y-axis. So y-axis is mean position. Right? So when it goes to either side extreme positions, it has to pass through mean position. So if you take from here then it has to go to one extreme position. Already once it has crossed mean position here, and then it comes back. It is again crossing this mean position. That is called one vibration. We have already studied it. Now we'll go ahead. We'll take this pendulum movement frame by frame and then try to visualize how this point moves. So this particular formation has come down and it is still coming down as the pendulum moves, and then it reaches almost near to the initial position. This position is called initial position. Now see the wave here. It has come from this here, this end, this height, and then it has come to initial position. And then it continues and it goes to either side. And look at the wave here. This wave has come down below y-axis, right? So it goes to its maximum and then it starts coming back. When it starts coming back here, then this will be moving front because it has to come near the mean position here. This is mean position. So near the mean position this has to go, and it goes, and when it comes to a mean position it touches here almost close to it. And it's the same way again it goes to other side extreme position, and now it is raised up here, and then it reaches its final and then comes back to mean position here. So this is how the whole motion continues, and you can have wave on graph. You must have seen that wave is generally represented like this. Now, question is, why should we represent this way? How can this vibration can be converted into a wave motion here and can be graphically represented? This is the answer. So let us take up only this now. Right? So what does this plane y-axis indicates? It's a initial position, just like a water surface when it is not disturbed, and then when it disturbs, water surface will move up and down, or a pendulum will go to extreme positions and come back, and the entire motion can be represented into graph. Right? So this is the initial position. Now when the pendulum goes to one extreme position here, that particular point here, or again the same extreme position here, one more extreme position here. So there is some name given for these points when we represent it on graph, and that is actually an extreme position of any vibrating body, but the name given here is trough. So remember this. So all these points below y-axis are called trough. In the same way, on the top we have again extreme positions on the other side, right? They are given the name crest. So we have, for every wave there will be a trough and there will be crest. Depend on number of waves formed, many crests and many troughs will be there for a wave. Now let me take one simple wave. Now for example, if you disturb water surface, what happens is slowly it moves up and down, and then we can represent it in the form of wave. Right? Now let me take up part of this picture. I'll cover this here and then here. Now look at this. Here from initial position it has gone to extreme position and then another extreme position and come back to initial position. And here we have called it as one vibration. But now here we call it as one wave. Both are same. And how are waves formed? Waves formed because of disturbance in the medium. And what do you exactly mean by disturbance? disturbances are the vibrations in the medium. Okay. Now quickly we shall see in terms of wave, what do you mean by time period and frequency. So recall, time taken for one oscillation or vibration was time period. Now can you tell me what is the time period here? Time taken to complete one wave, which means from initial position to extreme position and then again extreme position to initial position. How much time it is taken for one wave is called time period. Right? And what about frequency? Frequency is, we have studied number of vibrations per second. Now here same number of waves per second. Okay, you have already seen this is one wave, here is another wave, here is another. So there are three waves which are there here. Right? Now suppose if a time is given from here to here, how much time it is? Let's say time is 3 seconds. Can you find the frequency of this particular pattern now? Very simple. You see, frequency is number of waves per second. Now we have 3 seconds. How many waves? 1, 2 and 3 waves. So 1 second, how many waves will be there? 1 wave. 3 seconds, 3 wave. 1 second, 1 wave. So 1 waves per second is the frequency of this pattern, or we can call this as 1 hertz. This is in terms of waves. So we'll conclude here. Remember all these concepts which is taught in all these previous video tutorials related to sound, so that it will help us to take this chapter further. Well, we have to test ourselves what we have learnt, and here in front of you 3 swings, right? One is longer than average and the shorter one, and each of these are moving to and fro. The assignment is find the frequency of each of them and comment in the comment box if you can. Till then, stay strong, stay healthy. We'll continue this chapter in the next video.